Top 5 Exalted weapons, here we go. Number 5. Razorwing, Titania. Razorwing is essentially a personal Arcwing mode that grants Titania boosted evasion and near infinite mobility. The damage output of Razorwing is amazing, especially when utilizing the augment Razorwing Blitz. This causes her dual arc pistols to have a near minigun rate of fire. With recent updates making mods like Aviator and Agility Drift affect Razorwing's evasion ratings, Titania is now almost nigh unkillable when in her Razorwing mode. The biggest downsides are the high energy consumption, and flying does take some getting used to. You'll often be flying into walls almost non-stop at first, and if you want to fully utilize Razorwing Blitz, you're going to have to cast a lot more abilities, thus making her energy economy even worse. Overall, it's great and one of the most unique Exalted weapons in the game. Although lacking in practicality when it comes to general gameplay, it definitely excels in melting bosses and tanking enemies. Number 4. Artemis Bow, Ivara. The Artemis Bow is simple, to the point, and hits like a truck. It may be one of the less flashy Exalted weapons, but its usefulness and versatility vastly makes up for it. One of its best qualities is that it doesn't consume energy for being out, but instead only uses energy when you shoot it. Ivara, already having a huge energy pool, makes it to where you can rely on the Artemis Bow without having to glance at your energy pool every 5 seconds. The charge does not affect the damage, but rather just adjusts the spread from being vertical to horizontal, so you can fire away with no charge time. It's great for clearing floors and bursting tanks. Artemis Bow's really only downside is that its damage starts to fall off at higher levels, and it's attached to one of the squishiest frames in the game. Number 3. Serene Storm, Baruch. I don't think Baruch gets enough love from this community, but then again, since he's locked behind one of the worst bosses in the game, it's not surprising a lot of people can't be bothered to farm him. Serene Storm is not exactly a weapon, but more so a power-up to Baruch's fists, but regardless, Serene Storm does a great amount of damage, hits enemies through walls, and technically doesn't cost energy. It's great for clearing rooms and dealing high damage to tanky enemies. It runs on a separate meter rather than energy. Said meter will only allow Serene Storm to activate when you use other abilities, thus promote Baruch players to actually use his other abilities and thus be more useful to a squad. The only real downside to Serene Storm are its low to medium range, and impact damage creates kind of a ragdolling effect that gets really annoying to a certain degree. Something I personally love about Serene Storm is the somewhat demonic voice Baruch makes when you activate it. It's a real shit hit the fan kind of feeling. Number 2. Exalted Blade, Excalibur. While not the first Exalted weapon, both on this list or in release order, I'd argue this is what put Exalted weapons on the map. Exalted Blade is basically a lightsaber that not only cleaves through enemies like butter, but also sends out energy waves that go through walls and mobs. When modded with Chromatic Blade, it has virtually infinite scaling, and combined with Excalibur's Radial Blind, it does stealth damage on top of everything else. While Exalted Blade is active, you can do a mini blind every time you do a slide attack, which makes slide attacks an amazing opener to tanky enemies. When Exalted Blade is active, you can do a mini blind every time you do a slide attack. This makes slide attacks an amazing opener to more tankier enemies. Exalted Blade has a moderate energy consumption and overall just fits the theme of the Warframe it's assigned to, being the jack of all trades, master of most. Number 1. Regulators, Mesa. There's a statement to be made when an ability takes a crowbar to the knee of a nerf and still remains top tier. Mesa's regulators are literally an on-demand aimbot. You just need to look at the enemy's general direction and they're dead. Although Exalted Blade may dish out more direct damage, Mesa's regulators can clear entire rooms in just a couple of seconds. It's basically second place to Equinox's map clear ability. It's low to long range and bursts down mobs and tanks almost equally. The Waltz augment gives you the ability to move, so even one of its only weaknesses of having no mobility can be easily negated. It may use up a lot of energy, but you only need to use it for a couple quick bursts at a time. Overall, it's a solid Exalted weapon with no real reason not to use it. And that's my list. Sorry if any Exalted weapons you liked didn't make the list. This is all just my opinion, of course, and because of that, tell me what you all think down below. Tell me what your top 5 Exalted weapons are. As always, I'm the Reaper Hunter, and I'll see you all later.